हरिओम सर।
हरिओम। Just check and keep your mics on mute. We'll begin with the prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukhat Bhagave. We pray for the peace and happiness of one and all. May everyone be comfortable and happy at all levels of the personality.
10 to 15 वो आ जाएगा मलाड से, उसको जाना है.
Mics on mute, please. May everyone be peaceful and comfortable at all levels of the personality. May we see that which is divine and auspicious. May there be no suffering anywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Anyone has any question? Okay. See, the scriptures in many places say that start every activity by chanting Om. Chanting Om is not a, what you call that, a mechanical activity or any superstitious activity. It is very, very scientific. And Om does not belong to any particular religion. It is a pure sound of nature. It captures the entire phenomena of sound. There is no sound. It is actually A-U-M. A-U-M. Om is A-U-M. There is no sound before A. You can try it out. A. There is no sound before A. U is the middle sound, and there is no sound after There is no sound after them. So A-U-M actually captures the entire phenomena of sound. We cannot directly conceive God. The idea is to remember God in and through all our experiences. That's the whole idea. As you think, so you become. So we are trying to remember God as we are functioning in life. But how do you remember God? It's the inconceivable supreme reality. So we pick up something from the world to represent God. Stone idol is the grossest. You see something. Stone, earth, all the five senses can contact. I'm not going into details, just thought I'll just mention about Om. Because the moment we chant Om, we should shift our frequency, shift gears. Shift gears from where? That's the purpose of invocation. Gross intellect, which deals with the world, to the subtle intellect. Just 1 second. I'm stopping one video, distracting. Gross intellect, which is dealing with the world, to the subtle intellect, which is dealing with spirit. Bhagavad Gita class is only for our spiritual growth. So we are shifting gears from gross intellect to subtle intellect. So that's why we are trying to remember God. Earth. Mics on mute. God. Who's this? Somebody's mic is coming on, huh? So we are trying to remember God in all our experiences of life. It is impossible to directly conceive God. So we pick up something from the terrestrial world. It could be a stone idol, all five senses contact. Then water. You can, while drinking water or showering or seeing water, you can remember God. But it's not practical, perhaps, to remember God all the time through water. Then fire. A lot of religions worship fire because fire is the first symbol to be seen. Before fire, air you cannot see. And then there is space. Space is associated with sound. So therefore, sound is considered to be the subtlest idol. Subtlest idol means nearest to God. So space is considered to be sound is considered to be the subtlest idol. Idol is that which represents. National flag represents the country. The flag is not the country. If the flag is burnt or torn, doesn't mean India is burnt or torn. But without the moment you see flag, the Indian flag or any country's flag, the thought association is India. Otherwise, you are not thinking India, India, India. But the moment there is a national anthem sung or the flag, so the thought association is so powerful that immediately we are reminded of India. Similarly, uh, our life is we are constantly trying to divinize everything. Our relationships don't see mother, father, see they are an expression of God. That's why our Indian names also, Sham, Ram, all God's name. Not John, Tom, Dick, Harry, meaningless names. Even in a gusse mein bhi we take God's name only. Lakshman tu nahi kar raha hai. So the idea is to remember the thought association. So that is mechanical, but when you do it with meaning, it becomes a worship. So of all sounds, Om is the most powerful. All other religions also use it. In Christianity is Amen. In Islam, Amin. So the U is changing to I or E, but A and remains the same. A and remains the same. The chanting of Om itself has a peaceful effect on the mind. So that's the inarticulate point, intonational point. It just calms the mind. And then there is a deeper philosophical meaning. Om, what is the philosophical meaning? Om represents the divine, and represents the waking, dream, deep sleep states of consciousness. So we are only aware of waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. These are conditioned states of consciousness. Supreme God or Brahman is the pure unconditioned consciousness, which is the substratum, which is the base for waking, dream, deep sleep, and it extends beyond. Pure water. This is Brahman. Pepsi, Coke, and Fanta. Pepsi, Coke, and Fanta is conditioned consciousness. Water is there in Pepsi, Coke, and Fanta. Without water, there is no Pepsi, Coke, and Fanta. But they are conditioned, flavored with impurities. So that's why we chant Om. So moment we chant Om, we should shift gears from something worldly to something spiritual. It's the frequency that matters. Okay, getting back to the text. We'll chant verse 30 again. As I said, it's good to memorize few verses. If you can memorize this, extraordinary, because it's like the most energetic, most enthusiastic verse in the scriptures, in the Gita.
Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadyatma chetasa nirashi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha.
Renouncing all actions in me with thoughts resting on me, free from hope and attachment, fight without mental fever. This is the blueprint of perfect action. It's the secret of success. Secret of success is the blueprint of perfect action. So we've covered it. I'm just revising it. The two aspects to it, two aspects to a perfect action is, one is that we should generate energy. The other is prevent the dissipation of energy. How do you do that? For both, we have the three faculties. What are we supposed to do with the body? Okay, I have to act perfectly. So what am I doing with the body? What am I going to do with the mind? What am I going to do with the intellect? And if you go a little bit more deeper, I mean, this is technical. Information wise, it's important, but practically, anyway, you see how practical it is. Intellect is, I mean, it's the practice is actually possible. The explanation is technical. The intellect has the gross intellect and there is the subtle intellect. With the body, we have to plunge into action. The more active you are, the more active you become through dynamic action with the body. And the word uses ceaselessly, tirelessly. So the more you act, the more energized you will become. So remove this misconception that action tires you. Whatever action tires you, one good night of sleep is good enough for the physical fatigue. It actually energizes you, builds energy. The fatigue that we feel is mental fatigue, the mind running around, uncontrolled mind running around. When the mind remains unattended, the mind plays havoc. It teases you, it harasses you. So with the body, generate action. Action in what direction? The intellect must ensure the actions are flowing in the direction of your goal. So now the goal can be two types of goal. One is the material goal, whatever you're chasing. I want to become a chartered accountant. I want to become a doctor. I want to earn money. Whatever is your inspiring worldly goal, even there you should have a plan of action, a course that is taking you towards your goal. Same formula. Or in the commentary, it would be unfair or not living up to the message of what Bhagavad Gita is trying to say. Use this verse for your spiritual evolution, the spiritual goal, which is the goal of enlightenment. Boiling it down, the goal of self-development, self-purification. At least this thought should be there. Let me try and become a better human being. The only other reason a person can be coming to the class, later on in the Gita, Krishna says, there are three types of student. One comes to show off the knowledge to the teacher, which is not here. But sometimes there are some people, sometimes they come. Sir, this scripture has said that scripture has said, which is in a way good contribution, but only they will know whether they want to be a student or they just want to show off the knowledge. Second type of student, they come to test how much this guy knows. Third is where we can start our journey with any one of this. Showing off, I don't know. Anyways, second, sometimes we come to just check out what is this person saying. But the third is the true student who is genuinely coming to learn. It's not just an intellectual curiosity. He is trying to gain information only for the sake of transformation. So, two types of goal. One can be a worldly goal and one can be a spiritual goal. We would say in the Bhagavad Gita class, align your worldly goals to the spiritual goal. I want to do this activity. I want to get this degree, or I want to earn money, whatever it is, so that this helps me to realize the self, helps me in my journey of life to find absolute happiness within myself. Again, later on in the Gita, in the 7th chapter, Krishna says, very, very rare is a human being who wants to improve himself. We feel it's a very common quality. It's not. Not many people are trying. So that way we can congratulate ourselves that, okay, we want to learn. We are coming to the class to become better human beings, but you have to upgrade yourself. I must understand what is the self, what is the Atman, what is the pure consciousness, what is my connection with it. Am I ever to seek the self? What is this quality, what we say, mumukshatva? The burning desire to know God, burning desire to liberate oneself. It should start with a curiosity. What is this mumukshatva? To a intense longing for God. Nothing else matters, kind of. It's a slow journey, but don't be close to it. No, I'm not interested in it. Then you are unnecessarily delaying your growth. You're delaying knowing yourself, delaying your identification with absolute bliss. So be open to it. Not everybody will be inspired with it. But the formula for reaching that goal is same. With the body generate a lot of actions. The mind is full of likes and dislikes. These likes and dislikes can take us away from our goal. I want to be fit, but I'm all the time thinking of which restaurant and go and eat, and I'm all the time thinking I'll laze. So your own likes and dislikes can take you away from the goal you have set for yourself. So the role of what we need to do with the mind is use your intellect and surrender the likes and dislikes to your goal. Now, the more inspired you are with your goal, the more mental stamina you will have to work. So the inspiration or the stamina to pursue anything comes from your goal. The goal should really, you don't really fix a goal, the goal moves you. You can fix a goal. If there is nothing inspiring, you can fix a goal. But it actually, to give an example, let's say a person has lost a child because of somebody else's drunk driving. And they start, what is this? AA, no? Alcohol Anonymous, helping people to overcome. So something happens to your life, you get so moved. Many times it happens. It's unfortunate. Sometimes a child is born who is, what you call, let's say, special child. And they set up a organization which is taking care of all other special childs. So life sometimes forces you to fix something which really moves you. So you just mechanically can't fix up what is this person doing, what is that person doing. You have to find out what is that you are really charged up about. So the sooner you find it, fix that as a goal, surrender. The second part is surrender the mind to that goal. Mind only fix it. The intellect analyzes what is that you are passionate about, what is that you are interested in. Like my interest is in sports and Vedanta. So I would like to combine both. So it's easy. You are naturally looking forward to it. You want to, they say, morning you are ready to jump up and you go to bed satisfied in the night. That kind of so fix a goal. Your mind likes the goal, but then the mind gets distracted. So the intellect must ensure the mind surrenders to the goal. What is the role of the gross intellect? The gross intellect will do the planning and guide the activities of the body, mind, intellect. Till here, it's worldly. Now, the spiritual angle is only a human being, no animal, no cat, bat, dog, no donkey, monkey, no animal, no plant can conceive something beyond the world. This capacity to conceive the transcendental reality beyond the terrestrial world, is there a spirit beyond the body, mind, intellect? Is there God? Is there Atman? It only comes from the subtle intellect. Very, very clearly in the commentary and in the verse, once you bring in subtle intellect, Krishna is only talking about subtle intellect. Renounce all actions in me. Me means the self. With the thoughts resting on the self, only think of the divine, only think of the pure consciousness. Then he gives the formula. So in the commentary, he says, your intellect maintains an awareness of the self as the primary source of all actions. And he gives the benefit of it. It makes you objective. Objective means detached. We may feel, sir, already I'm not able to concentrate. And now you're saying think of God while doing actions. It's a practice. You move in and out of it. Best example is driving. Now, when you start learning to drive, you can't be talking to the person at the back. That too important conversation. If you're talking, the driving stops. And when you're driving, the talking stops, right? That's how we start. But now, once you are already driving, you're having the what you call life-changing conversations, but you are able to drive properly. So it's sheer practice. Don't put a mental block and say, "Sir, it's so difficult. So it's so difficult." It is difficult, but if you try, it's not impossible. It's just a question of effort. Ice skating is so difficult, but the Olympic champions, they say difficult. It is effortless. Put in effort, put in effort, put in effort. That effort becomes effortless. So start it. Okay. The self is the source of all activities, is exactly like petrol. Wow. Is exactly like petrol is responsible for all movements of the car. Without petrol, no car can move even a centimeter unless you push it. Petrol is responsible for all movement of all cars. Without electricity, no electrical gadgets can function. Similarly, one aspect of the divine, one aspect of God is without God, no action is possible. My finger is moving up and down. My mind is telling, move the finger, but the finger is moving because the self is there. The body is perceiving and acting. The mind is feeling different emotions, whether it's negative or positive. The intellect is conceiving different thoughts. But the enlivening principle behind all these thoughts is the Supreme Self, the Atman. This is the message of the scriptures. There is an Atman. So repeat the formula for perfect action. Perfect action will give success. You can't directly go to success. Last week we discussed success is something that belongs to the future. How can you now go to the future? It is a result, it is an effect. What is the cause? Cause is the perfect action. Take care of the action. You don't have to worry about the success. Fix the goal, set the plan of action, and plunge into activity. Body is acting, mind surrenders to the goal, and the intellect monitors the activities of the body mind towards the goal, ensures intellect is maintaining consistency. And the subtle intellect, use your subtle intellect to remember the self. If you forget, it's fine. Remember, remind yourself as often as possible. That is the greatest blessing or advantage of these classes. I am remembering the self, I am making you remember the self. The more we are aware of the self, thereafter you are deriving true peace and happiness from that identification with the self. The nature of the self is Satchit Anand, absolute bliss. So the more you remember the self, you become peaceful. Thereafter, a point comes, success or failure doesn't matter. You are already happy because of your identification with the self. But you can't do it without action. Get into activity, remember the self. Initially, it's only during class or only when you're morning study or only when you're doing prayer to wherever you're praying. Initially, it's once in a while. Then, many times a day. Then it becomes you cannot perform any action without the remembering the self. I'll just take up Bhavna's question. Is higher ideal better linked with Swadharma? It has to be linked with Swadharma. See, Swadharma and Paradharma will be covered in verse 35. So it's coming. I'll discuss it that class will be on Swadharma. Swa means one's own, Dharma means nature. Opposite of Swadharma means Paradharma. Para means another or alien. Alien nature means you're not even dealing with your personality. So neither is your personality getting a chance to express itself, and you're dealing with something which is. So see, how do you get into Paradharma? Arey yaar, Vedanta classes is it's not. Don't take it seriously. The Vedanta classes say kuch nahi hone wala. I can't pay my expenses. But this hotel is great, yaar. I should start a hotel. So many people are earning. Now I drop Vedanta, which is my Swadharma, and start a hotel business because there is no money in it. I'll be stressed out because I just don't know how to handle it. I'm only interested in the money which is coming, let's say, once a week or once a month. So the whole life is stressful. Your personality is getting frustrated because that's not your nature. You're just taking up that because of desire that I want more money. Or parents have pushed you into becoming a doctor because they are doctors or they have a hospital. Or parents are lawyers, they push their children to law. So you're doing it there is a desire, but you're not catering, you're not dealing with your personality. So it got frustration. 18th chapter of the Gita, where he talks about Swadharma, Sri Krishna says it's fraught with fear. It's not your field. You're doing it for a different reason, or you're forced into doing it. All my friends are doing IT, I should also do it. In IT, there are more jobs. So whether you have even if you have a low ideal that I need to earn money and I have to take care of my family, let's say that's a low ideal. That also should be Swadharma. Swadharma, you will at least enjoy the activity and you'll be good at it. Incidentally, you'll be good at it because that's your nature. And definitely for a higher ideal, can I serve Loka Sangraha? Can I be of some service to my company? Can I be of some service to the society? Can I be of some service to humanity? How can I realize the self? Through action. It has to be Swadharma. You have to be passionate about what you do. So no. Do what you love. That's the main thing. Backup plan is love what you do. Backup plan is not taught, but if you are not enjoying it, try to enjoy it till you find something that you really enjoy. And this is at the relative level. Relative level means at the level of the vasanas. What is your nature? What type of thoughts excite you? At the absolute level, Swadharma is same for all of us, the pure consciousness, the Atman. Our real Swadharma is God, the Supreme Self. That is not different. Electricity is same in all electrical gadgets. Petrol is same in all cars. Ornaments are different. Gold is same. Pots are of different nama rupa, names and forms. but clay is same. So real Swadharma at the absolute level is our Atma, is our Atman, Brahman, pure consciousness, divinity, Allah, whatever name you call it. But when we discuss Swadharma, we are talking about the field of activity in which you are going to spend most of your time. Suppose you're super rich and you're a musician. Do music, just do music. And music is to connect with the divine, then it becomes classical. Anyway, so the key is, where are you spending most of your time and effort? It should be in your Swadharmic field. I guess for 90% of the people, it has to be in the field where you're earning a living. So now my Swadharma is playing cricket or football, but I'm not even getting a chance for in my local team. How will I earn my living? So then I keep that as my hobby. Swadharma is singing, but nobody wants to listen. Even in bathroom, they come and knock. Please, please don't disturb the neighbors. So then I can't express my Swadharma to earn a living. I be a bathroom singer. I go to my next Swadharma. Okay, I cook well also. So then I become a chef at a hotel, or whatever, anything. I'm an engineer. I have engineering. I like engineering. So you become an engineer. To make a living, keep singing as your hobby. Cater to your Swadharma. Even in Swamiji's life, there was a point where he had to choose. I think he had like three things. He could have been an actor. He can really mimic people. How much he used to make us laugh by mimicking others. When you're objective, you can easily copy what others are doing. He could have been an actor, thank God. One Dilip Kumar, one Amitabh Bachchan, one Parthasarathi. What a waste of his caliber. Definitely he was cricket. He played for Madras Ranji team and Vedanta. Something told him that take up Vedanta, and he didn't really even cater to acting, though was very, very minor part of it. Probably I'm not even sure about the acting part of it. But he is a very good actor. But cricket was definitely Swadharma. Nobody plays cricket at 92. Even now, he'll just watch cricket. Wimbledon final is going on, he'll switch on to cricket. So cricket was Swadharma, but he didn't cater to it for a long time because he got so much satisfaction from something higher, which is Vedanta. He got so immersed into Vedanta that even though he was not catering to one part of his personality, it didn't matter. Now, you can sacrifice always. The principle of sacrifice is, think about it. I'm not forcing it onto you. Principle of sacrifice is always sacrifice the lower for the higher. You can't, 5 terrorists have hijacked a plane. The country is at stake. You can't release the 5 terrorists and sacrifice the country. Always the logical is to sacrifice the lower for the higher. If you have to blow up one building to save the city, now what are you going to sacrifice? 3,000 people, or are you going to sacrifice 100 people? Logic, you don't bring in emotions. Logically, yes. Obviously, you have to sacrifice 100 people to save 3,000 people. So similarly, lowest is physical, higher than that is emotional. You sacrifice yourself for the family. Family comes second, country comes first. So community comes first. So community, you don't sacrifice the community for the country. Sorry, what did I say? You don't sacrifice the country for the family. I mean, when we are emotional level, you say, yeah. Family is more important. I live for family. Fine, I mean, not wrong. But then the family level, other person will say, no, family. It's not that you don't care for the family, but higher is country. And highest is the self. Because the self, this is difficult to understand. The self is same in all of us. Yourself, myself is same. So when I am working to unfold myself, I have actually unfolding all self. That is, see from history, what Buddha did, what a Ramakrishna Paramahamsa did, what a Christ did, or what a Valmiki or Vyasa did. They just realized their self. We are still benefiting. I'm taking the class because of what they have done, right? You realize yourself, generations after that is benefiting. So therefore, self-development or self-spiritual unfoldment is the greatest thing that you can do. You can give others what you have. If you're cheerful and peaceful, you spread that around. If you are stressed out or worried, anxious, or full of dejected and sad, we have compassion for you, but then you are spreading that. As a human being, you need to step up, develop your intellect, gain higher values, and become cheerful and become peaceful. It's not difficult. It's just a question of application. So Formula for perfect action: let the body generate action, let the mind surrender itself to a higher goal. Find a goal that inspires you. Otherwise, even when something goes wrong in life, some tragedy happens, if you have an inspiring goal, you can take it into stride and move ahead. You're looking forward to something. If you have nothing to look forward to, you, that incident, that sadness or tragedy weighs you down. Sorry. That tragedy weighs you down. You have nothing to. So, a higher goal gives you a positive distraction in life, something to look forward to. Higher goal caters to your swadharma. Higher goal is helpful for your evolution. When something bad happens in life, I mean, if you have a goal, it helps you to move forward in life. So it's very, very important to have a higher goal. Without a higher goal, it's like I'm driving. Where are you driving? Are you driving in the right direction or wrong direction? If I have no destination, what is the meaning of driving? I'm driving for chilling. Life is not meant for chilling. It's not a picnic. Human birth is a pilgrimage. We got to find out ourselves. Now, more practically, the same, and so intellect I've already covered. The role of the intellect is to ensure the actions of the body, the thoughts and emotions of the mind are directed towards, channelized towards your goal. And step up to the subtle intellect. Remember, if I am able to speak at this moment, if my heart is beating, my digestion is happening, my liver and kidney, whatever they are playing their role, there is a supreme divine power which is enlivening it. No action, perception, emotion, thought is possible, whether it's a very, very harmful action or the most divine sacrificial action. All actions are enlivened by the self. Just an awareness of the self at the back of the mind. It will slowly grow. As you become a better, purer or good human being, the thought of the self will grow. And the thought of the self keeps you unaffected, keeps you objective. Opposite of objective is you get involved and completely entangled in that activity. Success means you're jumping with joy. Failure means you're sinking with sorrow. Because you have got nothing to fall back on. But when you're attuned to the self, it's almost like I have the bliss of the self within. Doesn't matter what's happening outside. I am doing what I'm supposed to do. I am finding the bliss from the self within. So you feel, but you're not affected. You care for the goal. That's why you're putting in all the effort. But I have done my best. I'm going to keep my balance in success and failure. Any questions? Okay. The same thing as I mentioned in 2000 and mentioned last class in 2001, before India defeated the Australian cricket team in Eden Gardens. It's considered to be the greatest test match of all time. What a coincidence, the greatest test match of all time. And Swamiji spoke to the Indian cricket team just before that. And that's where he thought of this 3C success. The same thing, what we discussed just now, it's in a formula. 3C, C for Calcutta, 3. But C has a pun, you see, SEE. 3C success. If you have these three things, you will find success. Concentration, consistency, and cooperative endeavor. The mind on its own will not remain in the present. The nature of the mind is like a pendulum, asthira and chanchala, restless and unsteady. That's the mind, everybody's mind. If you have too many desires, the fluctuation is more. But even at the height and even in the seat of meditation, the mind goes to other thoughts. Less, but goes. So this is where you become more attentive. The mind on its own never remains in the present. Now you can't hold the mind with your hand, no? With your body, no? Mind controls the body. I'm moving my hands because my mind telling it. Can I use my hand to control the mind? No. There is something called the intellect. Intellect is the capacity to observe your mind and hold your mind. It's a discriminate, controlled, you can say knowledgeable or logical thought. That thought which is guiding the mind. So use your intellect to hold the mind in the present, not allowing it to slip into the past or future. That is concentration. What is concentration? Focus. What is focus? Concentration. There's stupidity going on. Everybody, I mean, there's no meaning. We're mechanically doing it. Now you do it with, what is the practice? There is something in me, which is the mind, which will keep going fluctuating. I want to take the class. I'm thinking, what will I have for breakfast? What will I do in the afternoon? What is there for lunch? That's the mind. No. All other thoughts in the background let me keep my mind in the present action. Don't analyze why it has gone unless it is constantly bothering you. If it's constantly bothering you, then you have to take time and attend to it. Otherwise, it'll keep bothering you. But otherwise, the mind has no direction or dimension. It can go anywhere. It can have any thought, whimsical thought. So that's the mind. It's going everywhere. Now you also have the intellect, buddhi, which can observe. Oh my God, I'm not. My mind has slipped. My mind has slipped. Bring the mind back into the present. That is the practice of concentration. Hold the mind in the present activity, not allowing you to slip into the past or future. To the extent you are in the present, you will be less fatigued and action will be proper. How can action be proper if your mind is somewhere else? I'm talking and I'm thinking of something impossible. Action will be very poor. So concentration helps you in two things. You are not fatigued and the action is brilliant. So the more you practice it, it becomes easier. Uh, like for example, very rarely I lose concentration in class. It's not that it doesn't happen. Suddenly something happens. If I forget to keep my phone on silent, it's vibrate and suddenly a pop-up message comes. The thought goes, "Arey, is it important or is it not important?" So, but then there could be other activities where the mind slips more. So wherever you apply yourself, the mind will more concentrate more. With concentration, you gain more energy. You make the action perfect. Then is next C, consistency. Consistency is ensuring all your actions are flowing towards the goal. You sleep well because you want to reach your goal. You relax so that you want to reach your goal. You entertain yourself so that you reach your goal. So I'm giving the negative first. Negative means don't think that consistency means 24 hours you have to work. You will stop in 2 days. In one day you will stop. No. You have a balanced life where you are maximizing, optimizing your own capacity to ensure all activities are flowing towards your goal. If I play football one day, tennis one day, table tennis, what is that? Any sports, then I will be not good at anything. I'll be fit, but I'll not be good in particular sport. Suppose one day I'm reading engineering books, another day I'm reading medical books, another day I'm Vedanta. I'll collect information, but I'm not good at anything. I'll be a caricature. So, but now 26 years I'm studying the same book. Imagine how much of consistency is there. Some people may say, same books you're reading, till enlightenment you have to study. Not the fall of the human intellect governing business, but Vedanta treatise. You're going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Maybe this class, I don't know whether recording of this class is there in chapter 3. I don't know when I took it, but how I would have explained it then and how would I explain it now. Even if the words are same, probably the conviction and understanding is better. So the more consistent you are, the activity becomes very, very powerful. Repeated habit. Excellence is nothing but repeated habits. One day you do yoga every day. How does a Roger Federer hit that beautiful backhand? How does Virat Kohli hit that beautiful cover drive? They give their life to it. Practice. The more you practice, the more brilliant you become. No secret. So consistency. And for an individual goal, concentration and consistency is enough for you to achieve the target. Means you're doing all you can. Thereafter, if it doesn't happen, means there are other factors over which you have no control. Over which you have no control, surrender to the divine. Whatever God you believe it, leave it to that God. Don't worry about it. Because anyway, it's not in your control. If it's in your control, give your heart and soul and do what is in your control. You don't know what the question paper will be. Now, if you're worried, agar out of syllabus question aa gaya, kya karoon? Out of syllabus question, you are wasting the time now. It's not in your control. What do? Leave it to God only. That's the best. He is the infinite. Whatever happens, let him ordain it. Your job is to prepare well. If it's a group activity, then we need cooperative endeavor. Nobody is inferior, nobody is superior, nobody is unimportant, nobody is important. Everybody has a beautiful role to play. Somebody is an electrician, somebody is a gardener, somebody is making the roads, somebody is a farmer, somebody is a doctor, somebody is doing AI, somebody is doing the accounts. What can one person do? Somebody is a tailor, somebody is an optician, somebody decorates things properly. So we need all of us. The CEO cannot say, I don't need the security guard or the sweeper. Will he come and sweep and stay at the night to guard the office? The security guard cannot say that I don't need a CEO. Everybody contributing their talent to the pool in a spirit of cooperative endeavor with humility, enjoying each other's success, caring for each other. Then there is a beautiful team spirit. One person fails, other picks up, and when other picks up, you're happy for the other person's success. So then with the 3 C's, concentration, consistency, and cooperative endeavor, that's all you can do to gain success. Energy is lost by constant worry of the past, anxiety of the future, which is lack of concentration, and too much excitement in the present. Calm down, calm down. If only time you have to boost yourself up, come on, come on, come on, come on, when you're in tamas. If you're in tamas, become like Nadal. Jump. Amazing. Wimbledon finals used to happen between Federer and Nadal. Nadal will be with his sleeveless shirts and jumping up and down. Federer will come with his cool white coat, looking as if he's owning the place. But he is in the zone. He's playing beautifully. So in that way, Nadal is Rajas and Federer is Sattva. But Nadal's game is also Sattvic. He is an incredibly talented player. It's just that he was a different kind of a Sattva. I guess Djokovic has the mid path of all of them. Any great talented person doing some extraordinary activity, they have no awareness what the body mind is doing. You can't suddenly get into it. It's consistency. There is no thought, I am performing this action. The thought, where is the thought then?
The body becomes the mind.
The body becomes the mind. The thought, anybody else? Where is the thought? Where's the thought should be?
On the ideal?
A part of it, in what direction it's going. The thought should be initially on the action instead of who is doing the action. And then once you're immersed in the action is happening properly, the thought at the back of the mind, the ideal, which is in the absolute sense the self. So then you understand what is the meaning of dedicate all actions to the self. He says, renouncing all actions onto me. Now, me doesn't mean Krishna, means the Supreme Self in all sages. Renouncing all actions to me. So, subtle intellect, one part of your thought should be that the self enlivens me, but don't have to, if the job is more important, think of the action. Once in a while, remember the self. Because the thought of the self will disturb the action. Initially, the action is more important. What is unspiritual action? What will I get out of the action? What will I get out of the action? I am doing it. The ego and selfish attachment to the fruit of action. Selfish attachment to the fruit of action is in the future. Ego comes from the past. It's very beautiful, this definition. Ego arises from the memories of the past. Ego is what? I am great. I am great. The foundation of I am great is all the memories I have about myself. If I forget who I am, where is the ego? So don't have to, remember the positive memories, but there must be a time should come that you will understand. A time should come, forget everything about yourself, only remember the divine, let the body, mind, intellect operate. So then you're only thinking of the divine, no thought. Initially, I would say remember the positive memories, helpful memories, that which will encourage you to be happy and brilliant. Don't remember the negative, hurtful memories and pessimistic memories. Then you're pulling yourself down. First, positive memories, then the memory of God only, and then you finally reach God. Okay, any questions? We'll chant verse 31.
ये मे मतमिदं नित्यम् अनुतिष्ठन्ति मानवाः श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तः मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः.
Those men and women, all human beings, those who constantly practice this teaching of mine, teaching of Krishna, full of Shraddha, faith, without cavilling, they too are liberated from actions. Don't worry about the they too are liberated from actions. Whoever practices will attain liberation, spiritual evolution. So one is constantly practice this teaching, what we covered in the last class and today. 3C success, concentration, consistency, cooperation, dynamic activity with the body, mind surrenders to the goal, intellect remembers the relative goal and the absolute divinity, pure self. That teaching, if you practice, full of Shraddha, faith without cavilling. Cavilling is you are constantly finding fault. You want to just criticize. You have no respect for the book or for the teacher. See, if you hate your maths teacher, you can't learn from him. Krishna and Arjuna were friends. So there's a beautiful rapport. So if you have devotion is higher. If you have love and devotion, a friendliness with the teacher, what happens? Your receptivity increases. And incidentally, the teacher is also inspired. The teacher will anybody comes to learn, the teacher will teach. But the moment he smells disrespect or ingratitude or what is this knowledge? Something like the lack of devotion, lack of reverence. The more it's not just a blind faith or a blind devotion, but devotion, they keep them separately. We are in chapter 3. In the next chapter, one of the very, very important verses of the Gita, for a sadhak, for a seeker who wants to learn the scriptures, verse 34 of chapter 4. Krishna is obviously telling it in so late because he's just making sure Arjuna wants to learn. And then he says, once he sees he wants to learn, he says, what are the qualities of a perfect student? At the level of the body, at the level of the mind, pranipatena. Pranipatena means a surrender, a devotion. But it's not an unquestioning, blind surrender. The surrender is at the intellectual level, pariprashnena, questioning. You come to the class with devotion that from the Gita, from the teacher, I learn something beautiful, something very, very sacred because it's a time-tested knowledge. Incidentally, it's coming from, 5,000 years back, 10,000 years back. We have to respect it. There must be adoration for it, but it's not a blind surrender. If anything doesn't make sense, you must have the courage to ask questions. That's why we keep saying, do you have a question? Do you have a question? It should be, so questioning is intellectual. You question with devotion. You don't question with challenge. But unless you question and clarify your doubts, these doubts are like clouds. It prevents the light of knowledge to penetrate. So you got to question and clarify your doubts. So in that sense, questioning is more important. Sometimes when I mention the topic in the class and I have not reached the topic, then I said no more questions. But otherwise, we don't have to rush and finish anything. We can take up questions. So question, but at the mind level, there must be devotion and respect. If you don't have respect, you will not gain. And for the teacher, if you're not, we say adhikaris. This knowledge is given to adhikaris. Adhikaris are those who want to learn. Like I said, there are 3 categories of teacher. I don't want to, this is not the forum where you have to come and show off your knowledge. This is not a forum where to challenge the teacher. This is a forum where you want to learn. So that's a true student is only gaining the information sincerely to bring about a transformation. He wants to learn. So he says very clearly, those who are cavilling, they will not benefit by this knowledge. So improve yourself in that zone. And then this word, Shraddha, full of Shraddha. There are certain words which are out of the world. Brilliant. One word is like titiksha, the capacity to put up with inconvenience gracefully, calmly, with pleasure. If you love someone, you will do anything for that person, happily, not with a sacrifice, not with grudge. Titiksha, capacity to put up with inconvenience with pleasure. How a mother will take care of the child. She may not sleep in the night, but doesn't get frustrated. A true mother will go and all out. So titiksha is a fantastic word. Today I covered mumukshatva, that burning desire to liberate yourself. I have to seek God. I can't be attached to this body, mind, intellect. I can't be egoistic. Can't be negative. I have to become positive. That burning desire to do something. So we can use mumukshatva is for self-realization, for enlightenment. Buddha had mumukshatva. That doesn't mean everybody has to go out. Wherever you are, play that role brilliantly, unselfishly, without expectation. So mumukshudha is that burning desire. And then this word Shraddha. There is no English translation. Faith is a very, very poor translation. Faith, Swamiji quotes two definitions. One is our Bengali poet. I'm Bengali. Incidentally, I don't know whether you noticed, some 2-3 times I was smiling because my 37-year-old friend is attending the class. So I think for the first time. I just happened to put the message and I said, today's secret of success come. So I don't think he has ever heard me. We are friends from class 5. I'm not taking names. You may guess it also, but doesn't matter. So Bengali poet Rabindranath Tagore, he said, what is faith? Faith is the bird which feels the light and sings while the dawn is still dark. Fabulous poetry, no? Faith is the bird which feels the light and sings while the dawn is still dark. It's not yet light. It's dawn is still dark. But the bird knows that impossible sun will not rise. It feels the light and sings while the dawn is still dark. That is one definition. Faith is the bird which feels the light and sings while the dawn is still dark. The other definition is Joel Goldsmith, the mystic, Christian mystic. He says, faith is the belief in a thing. Faith is a belief in a thing which I do not know now until I come to believe. Missed it. Faith is a belief in a thing which I do not know now until I come to believe what I know or believe. Who is the Bengali poet? Rabindranath Tagore. He got a Nobel Prize. Joel Goldsmith says, where is it? Belief in a thing which I do not know until I come to know what I believe in. Until I come to know what I believe in. So all our journey starts with faith. See, without faith, you cannot do anything. How do you, when you go to a restaurant, and how do you know the food is not poisoned? When you get into a Uber or something, how do you know that the driver will not kidnap you or is not drunk? Does somebody said, does anybody take a DNA test that am I really my parents' child? How do I know? Everything is on faith only, right? Unless you have a clue or a suspicion that something is going wrong, then you use your intellect to act. You see the chef putting something, a powder. What is that powder? Then you act on it. I'm not saying blindly have faith, but how do I know this building will not collapse? Everything is on faith. Everything starts with faith. Those who have come to this class, whenever you came first, you came with faith. What is this person going to teach? All journey starts with faith. You retain the faith until you come to know what you believe in. How do I go to Delhi? Somebody says, go this way. You have to have faith. You don't know. You keep going, you land up in Goa. That means you know that this person can't be trusted. But once you reach Delhi, then there is no longer faith. You know that guy gave the right direction. This is right. Faith, once it's knowledge, you don't need faith. After having attended the class for a few weeks, then you know, okay, I will learn something good in this class. Then you don't have to come with faith. Then it's knowledge. So it starts with faith. But Shraddha is a fantastic quality which we all have to develop. Some say Shraddha is like a different faculty only. I'm confusing you. But I mean, it's just fascinating. I really don't know. I have never heard Swamiji say that. Like body, mind, intellect, Shraddha is a separate faculty, it seems. I mean, doesn't matter. I'm saying that to say it's very important to develop Shraddha. Unfortunately, Indians lack Shraddha. Indians have Titiksha. Perhaps Indians have, spiritual people have Mumukshata. But unfortunately, Indians lack Shraddha. Westerners, Stephen, there is a lot of Shraddha. They don't take up many things, but what they take up, they go to the end of it. Shraddha is that incredible capacity in a human being to finish what he has started. We say jokingly, foundation stone is there. Everywhere foundation stone is there. Building is missing. We want to do many things, but we don't go to the end of it. I've bought the Vedanta treatise. I've bought this good. Many people come and say, sir, I have 10 Gitas. Have you read even one Gita? that is what, have you started so we start a lot of things, we don't go to the end. So Shraddha is the capacity to receive the information. Keep doing Shravana. Shravana is listening, listening, reading, listening, reading, listening, reading. Do Manana, reflection, 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 until it brings about a transformation. Or you say that no, this is not working, so you leave it. Or you keep on pursuing it. Is it possible to remember the self while acting? Is it possible to remember the self while acting? You keep practicing it until you become it, until the knowledge becomes, until the knowledge brings about a transformation. You keep doing it, no giving up. That is Shraddha. A determination, a commitment, a dedication. Yeah, these three words are enough. Unflinching determination, a commitment, a dedication to your goal until you reach it. A river has a Shraddha. River will go on and on and on. It may fall from a precipice, but it falls so gracefully. We all go and see the waterfall. It may hit a mountain, it will go around it, but it never stops moving. One of the most important to see, okay, the both ends of the spectrum. The best qualities of a human being is mukshatva, the desire to reach God, and shraddha, no stopping until you reach God. That's the top of the if you have mumukshadva and shraddha, that's it. You will reach, whether you have a teacher or no teacher, whatever you are, you will not stop until you reach enlightenment. At the bottom level, when everything seems like nothing is working out, everything seems to be coming to an end, two qualities which will save you is no giving up and have faith in yourself. No giving up, no faith in yourself. So many interviews I've seen. There was a time in the 1990s or 2000, not many people will be facing a match point. I'm talking about tennis. There's a match point, a person is match point down. 99% of the people will not be able to come back. There are times when they have done it, but nowadays it's very often. Djokovic has done it so many times and done it to Federer only. There is match point down and he comes back and wins the match. So if you listen to the interview, what was going on in your mind when were your match point down? I remember there was a match between Alcaraz and Sinner when Alcaraz had not even won the Grand Slam. Now he's won, I think, 6 or 7 Grand Slams. It was a quarterfinal. He was match point down. He saved the match point. He beat Sinner. He went on to win the US Open as the youngest champion. And he was interviewed that what was going on in your mind when you were match point down. He said, I kept faith in myself. If you lose faith, it's like it's very difficult to pick yourself up. So no giving up, have faith in yourself. So river doesn't give up. So that you have a goal, pursue it with determination, commitment, dedication. Here and there, you may take a break. You may feel dejected. You may feel disappointed. You say, jump, bounce back like a rubber ball. Don't fall like a lead plate. Lead plate falls and breaks. You may cry, but don't keep crying. Cry and now jump up and get on to activity. What will save you is activity. Then right activity. For right activity, you need right knowledge. So knowledge is start getting into some kind of activity. Doesn't matter. Go for a walk, exercise, do something. Best is to do something for others. Some sort of a goal. As you pick yourself up, that's why Swami Ramatirtha says when you are doing something and then your mind is into that activity, mind itself gets an equilibrium. And then when the mind is calm, you can have the right knowledge and do anything. You can take care of anything. But initially, when the mind is very disturbed, you can't think. So just go for a walk. Do something. Sit down for a prayer. Go for a shower. Clean up the cupboard. Get into activity. Then slowly give the activity a higher direction towards your goal. And then make the goal a little unselfish. Same action. I'm going to the office for my salary. I'm going to the office so that I can use my talent to serve my colleagues, serve my department, serve the company. Through the company, let me serve my customers, clients, class members. So give that first activity, then a positive direction. And if you are really doing the activity, the mind will regain its calmness. Don't be too anxious. What am I getting out of it? What am I getting out of it? Just do something. Mind becomes calm, then you give it knowledge and take yourself to a higher direction. So Krishna is saying, we'll cover Shraddha again in the next class because it's so important. So many people have started the course. How many are pursuing the enlightenment? So many become spiritual seekers. How many have reached enlightenment? Halfway through give up. We're running brilliantly, 18 kilometers, 19 kilometers, you give up. It's a half marathon, 21 kilometers, a full marathon. You have to go on and on. It says, those men, all of us, whoever practices this teaching of mind constantly, not once in a while, as often as possible, constantly practicing the teaching. What is that 3C success? Formula for success. Full of Shraddha, not little bit of Shraddha, full of Shraddha, without doubting or belittling, without criticizing the knowledge. If you don't understand, keep it aside or ask questions, but don't criticize it. You will get liberated from actions. I remember in Calcutta when I heard chapter 2 in 2000, 2002. 2002, yeah, 2002, I heard chapter 3 from Swamiji. And it's a psychological way they say, you all have faith. That's why you have come to the lecture. There were 800 people or 600 people in the audience, and I was there. He said, you all have faith, that's why you have come here. But if one of you have Shraddha, I'll be flattered. I'm telling to all of you. All of you have faith, that's why you've come here. But one person has Shraddha. Shraddha means you will continue the learning till you have brought about a positive transformation. Till then, you'll go on and on, unless you feel there is something better. That if you feel, of course, you have to change. It's not like only this will save me. Anything can save you. Whatever works better. There is no shortcut to, therapy or anything. All that is, I'm not criticizing therapy. I'm saying that the real way to transform yourself is to transform your mind, for which you need to give the mind good values, and the process of learning these good values will give you a strong intellect. And finally, you will be able to identify with yourself, know yourself, discover yourself. Okay, any questions?
Prasabji,
Yes, Ulas.
hello. Can we define this Shraddha as a unflinching willpower to achieve the goal?
Shraddha, the willpower is the what you call layman's term for intellect. Willpower, intellect is the same. Okay, so unflinching. So how do you the mind does not have
But ultimately, it arises from the mind only. Na? It is a part. Shraddha is part of the emotion only. Na? Unflinching desire to achieve the
it's
goal.
both. The mind is also has a role in it. The intellect also has a role in it. In the sense, the intellect will ensure that you're not deviating into other distractions. You have the Shraddha. Shraddha is that ability to pursue something till you reach the end. You have to have your mind cooperating, and you have to have a strong intellect also. So I see, how did I define Shraddha? A determination, a dedication, a commitment to pursue something until you reach it. You go on and on until you reach it. So the mind has to cooperate. So mind is committed and dedicated. And determination is an aspect of the intellect. Mind is fickle and wavering. Mind is fickle and wavering. Today this, tomorrow that. Today this, today that. And the mind can have, Arey yaar, bahut ho gaya, giving up. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. That's the nature of the mind. So the intellect then says, no, no, no. There is no giving up. Unfortunately, for a spiritual goal, there is no timeline. You can't say, I'll self-realize this year. You don't know when who will self-realize, because it's not like $10,000 or something. You have to get into the right mode of sadhana and just do it, forgetting everything. Realization happens. Like sunrise happens. So it's both mind and intellect. Perhaps that's why they say Shraddha is a different faculty only. And the 17th chapter says, see, we all will say, you are what your vasanas are. I am philosopher because I have been studying philosophy. You are a cricketer because your vasanas are cricket. You are an accountant because your vasanas are accountant. You are what your vasanas are is the general understanding. The 17th chapter says, you are what your Shraddha is. You are what you are pursuing. Let's say I have talent of Vedanta, I have a talent of football, I have talent of cricket, but I am not a cricketer. I am not known as a cricketer or a footballer because I don't have Shraddha for cricket. That's a time pass hobby. My Shraddha is for Vedanta. So I am a teacher. Suppose I didn't cater to Vedanta and I'm only playing football, then my Shraddha is for football. So my other vasanas are not being catered to. The vasanas which you feed, give it thoughts, whatever you feed, that becomes stronger.
But sometimes
So
your profession is not out of vasana. It is surrounding compulsion sometimes.
if you are, see, Ullas, you can't cheat the law. If you are doing something out of compulsion, which is not your nature, there will be a lot of frustration, lot of unfulfillment.
But 80% of the times, profession, most of the thing people are making it for living is a compulsion. It is not out of their vasanas.
Did you get to 80%? 80%, I don't know.
But most of
In the
the thing,
sense,
most of the
okay,
people are,
let's say, no, not most people. Why there are so many people who are doing what they really want to do, and in that field, they are the compulsion. What is the compulsion? Taking care of the family or taking care of something, right?
yeah, that's
So that is a compulsion. Means what? You have chosen to have a family. Now it's your duty to take care of the family, right?
see
So
now many students they are not inclined to go to engineering, but just parent force them to go to engineering or medical because that
that's a
profession
sad state, no?
but that profession
Parent.
earns money. That's why they are going there. It is not their liking, no?
Huh. So now I don't know what is happening. They will be frustrated. It's not their field of activity. There will be a lot of frustration. Plus,
Yeah,
um, now see, you're not catering to your nature. There is frustration, and now you're dealing with something else. So you are altogether creating fresh vasanas. Now, how that will manifest in this lifetime or next lifetime? So you are creating more and more vasanas only. You're
mm,
making your nature fatter and fatter. There's no spiritual evolution. You're making a mess of the whole thing. You're frustrated and you're not growing, you're devolving.
that's
So,
true.
what I am trying to say is, in whichever direction you give your Shraddha, let's say, theoretically, let's say, I have Vedanta Vasanas, I said to hell, or the government says no more spiritual activities. And say, let's say I get into gardening. Now, if I do gardening for 30 years, I have had Shraddha for gardening, I become a gardener. As simple as that,
Yeah.
right? Gopika
Okay.
has a question. One second.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Is it is it possible to uh, is it possible to transform one's vasanas over time and develop higher and constructive vasanas? Yes. So yeah, if vasanas are fixed, then what is the point of studying all this? In the case of animals, they cannot change their vasanas. A tiger will be tiger all his lifetime. And there is no such thing a good tiger or bad tiger. Their vasanas are fixed. But in the case of a human beings, good people become bad, bad people become good. So right now, whatever your vasanas are, they are manifesting. But human beings have what is called purushartha. Purushartha is self-effort. Self-effort gives you the capacity to function independent of your vasanas. Purushartha is a capacity to function independent of your vasanas. You apply Purushartha through your intellect. See, okay, let's say my present vasanas is for drinking. If my vasanas are for drinking, what will happen? I'll get a thought of drinking. And if I encourage that thought, there's a desire for drinking, I am ending up drinking. That's the chronology of action. Vasana, thought, desire, action. Now, how do you apply it? How do you apply intellect or purushartha? The moment the thought of drinking comes, I got to use my intellect and says, should I manifest this into action, or this is not something I want to do? I want to basically reject it. No, I don't want to drink. I push it aside. That capacity only a human being has. Now, over a period of time, if I say, I don't want to drink, I don't want to drink, and you get into something positive, slowly the drinking vasanas will die away because you're not feeding it. Whatever thoughts you feed, those vasanas will come strong. Whatever vasanas you are through knowledge and understanding and application, you uh, dismiss away, reject, discourage, and not think about it. First, you understand is intellectual. You understand it. Why is it harmful? Why is it useless? How is it not helping you in your goal? So you understand it. And then you say, I'm not going to entertain that thought. Fill your mind with something positive. Don't think of the pink elephant because it's harmful for me, but I have to think of the blue elephant. Then you consciously think of the blue elephant. So whichever direction your thoughts flow, those vasanas will become stronger. And if you feel, let's say, you didn't really have a very strong vasana to learn the Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta, but now you have come across it. Now, if you say, no, this is very, very helpful, this will help me to become a stronger and a happier human being. Now you feed that thought. I'm going to have Shraddha. I will learn the Gita. I'll finish the Vedanta treatise. Then you're developing very good vasanas. These good vasanas will remove the lower vasanas. The higher vasanas will as you develop into higher vasanas, the lower falls away. we don't say vasanas because vasana is unmanifest. When you're sleeping, you're in vasana state. So we say thoughts. Entertain higher thoughts, leave aside lower thoughts. Leave it aside. You don't have to worry about it. Through understanding. See, one is that I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. Then you are getting, you don't know why you're not thinking about it. Better is to say, okay, I don't want to think about it because it's useless. It's not helping me in my journey. It's unnecessary, giving me agitation. So therefore, I don't want to smoke because it's burning my lungs, spoiling my health. But now I want to do something positive. I'll do pranayama, I'll do exercise. So negate the lower through understanding, consciously with your heart and soul, assert the positive. You okay? So you can change vasanas. It takes time, but you can change it. It's like clearing a loan. How long will it take to clear a loan? Right? How much is the loan? How much effort are you putting in? You have 5,000 crore as loan and you're very, very religiously putting in 5,000 every month. It's going to take many, many lifetimes. But you have 50,000 loan and you're putting 10,000 every month. It's a question of time. 5 months you will clear it. So vasanas, unfortunately, you can't see. So as long as there, keep fighting. Don't give up. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hari Om. Oh, we didn't do the prayer, no? I just do the prayer. Namada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Basakti.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hari Om.